Good morning, everyone. You know what? I've been saying this for 2 weeks now, and I still need to get something figured out. I need some kind of music right there. I don't know what it is. Help me out. Good morning. This guy sitting right here, I'm Dale Maxwell. Welcome to Kickassery. What is Kickassery, and why are we sitting here doing this? Kickassery is really about me talking to amazing influencers in my life, whether directly or indirectly. I've had people that I have known since I was knee high to a grasshopper, and I've had people on here like today who I just met, but I am so impressed and I'm so thankful they're doing what they're doing that it's a no-brainer. We have to have it. Today's a first. Today is a major first. Usually it's just myself and one other person on the show. Today, there's 3 people on the show. We're talking to Laurie and Mike today at the same time. Yeah, I know. Up in the game. Sure, why not? So, with all that said, I'm not even going to try because they sent me their resume, and I'm like, I'm not even going to try. I'm going to butcher this so bad. So, I'm going to let Laurie and Mike tell us what's going on. And I just pushed the wrong button. I tried to unmute them, but I kicked them out of the thing. There they are. Good morning.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Okay, who are you and what do you do?
Laurie, you want
to?
Laurie start.
I'll start. Laurie Mayhue, and I live here in Oklahoma City, and I work for Rebuilding Together, a nonprofit that serves low-income and seniors, and we do home repair and renovation, and we also do some neighborhood revitalization and community action. So I do development here, so that means that I raise money and talk to donors and write grants. So that's a little bit about what I'm doing currently, and it's all thanks to Mike.
Yeah, and I'm Mike Edmondson. I'm the executive director for Rebuilding Together, and I've been a part of this organization for about 3 years, and just love what we do. We have a big family here, and we try to get out in the community and make as big of a splash as we can and change some lives and do some good work.
Okay, so we talked on the phone last week. Thank you very, very much for being here. I truly, truly appreciate this. You guys are super busy people. You're making huge impacts in your community, and I truly appreciate that. So when we were talking on last week, I'll say last week, I can't remember what day it was, doesn't matter. So when we were talking last week, you were mentioning specifically what you guys do is really help underprivileged and elderly with their homes. Is that correct?
Yeah, we work low-income seniors primarily. We do a lot of different work in the community, but our main mission focus is through seniors 55 and older. They have to be within a certain income bracket, so lower income, and we do major home repairs, not just painting and scraping, but bathroom remodels, roofing, wheelchair ramps. Our goal is to allow people to live in a safe and healthy home as long as they can. Our aging population is getting bigger and bigger every year, and the burden of living in a retirement community or a nursing facility is very expensive. And if we can help people live healthy lives in their homes, we're good to go.
Well, isn't there also some statistics out there that say that something to the effect of if we are able to stay in our own homes and take care of ourselves, we actually stay healthy longer?
Oh, absolutely. People, when that's part of it, it's interesting how the health of your home really can impact the health of your life, and the accessibility. I mean, a lot of times people will get where they can't get out of their homes because of a physical issue. And when we go in and help them do that, they can get out and go be more social, more active in their community. Even things like making sure that they can get in and out of their bathtub safely so that they can physically have, a shower and have a healthy lifestyle like that. So yeah, that's kind of the goal, is to help people age well.
Now, are you guys are just local there, or are you all over the place?
You want to talk about our national affiliate?
Yeah, so we are just a piece of a large national organization. We serve the Oklahoma City Metro specifically, However, our national office has 123 Rebuilding Togethers all over the United States. And so we have one in almost every state. So if you're not here in Oklahoma City per se, you can still benefit from Rebuilding Together or get somebody involved with it where you live.
Awesome. Okay, so real quick, for all of you guys watching right now and on the replay, make sure we know you're here. Type in real quick, say, hey, I'm here. And also, a big part of Kickassery and what we're doing is sharing the message. I mean, that's why I'm sitting down with Laurie and Mike right now, is to share their message and to get them, what little impact I can have for them. That's what this is. So also, we need you guys to share this out, because that's how the Facebook gadgets and algorithms work. So type down that you shared it for us, please. I appreciate that. So what is your biggest challenge what is your biggest challenge when it comes to helping the elderly in the OKC area?
It's probably easy to say funding.
It's always funding. Funding is always the biggest challenge. You can do more with more money.
Yeah. Yeah. I think another challenge too is helping people understand why it's important. Because a lot of times people get into a place where they, if you think of your home, a lot of great memories happen there. And so being able to, sorry, we have a dog with us today. Can you hear her? Anyway, but getting people to understand why we do it is so important. It's real important to be in the home. So getting the message out and funding the programs are the two biggest issues.
I feel that there's a lot of times when we don't have immediate family that lives in the area. I feel like a lot of times we get, I'm not going to say forgotten, but maybe out of sight, out of mind. And having organizations to do what you guys are doing is imperative. I truly believe that.
Yeah. Well, and combining our efforts with other efforts. I mean, we work on homes and we can physically repair the homes, but once they leave their front porch, there's a lot of needs that they have. And so here in Oklahoma City, we're trying to really set up a community of support so that all those needs are reached, not just the housing.
Right.
We've worked really hard with community partners and people that can provide services that we don't provide, but we can be a connection point to those services for our homeowners. So we really, really are working diligently daily to make a bigger impact than just our scope. We want to bring it out further than that.
Well, Tara, she says thanks for sharing your organization's mission, and that's huge right there. All right, so I think, Laurie, you bring up a good point. I've worked in different levels of nonprofit over the years, all the way up to state endowment boards and blah 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 blah. And I find it disheartening and frustrating how much competition between nonprofits there is, and how no, we're not. And I've ran into this where I have been told straight up, no, we are not working with you because you're working with XYZ, who is our competitor. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. We should be all in the same boat, rowing the same way. Even if they're doing the same thing you're doing, how is this competition? So I love the fact that you guys are going out and striking partnerships with other programs to get rid of that. Right.
It's a really terrible stigma too. We don't want to be the organization that doesn't involve ourselves with other people. We work, like I said, we work often and almost daily with other agencies to make sure that we are getting out there and doing the right thing. And, honestly, we don't know everything. And so the more that we talk to people, the more that we're going to learn, and the more that our services could expand, or the more that we could do for the people of the community. So it's really a community effort. It's not about us. It's about the community.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the mentality right there. And I think you just touched on it. And I'm only speaking from my experience. You guys probably have way more experience than I do, but, it seems to me that there's what's the word I'm looking for? Brain just went fart. Anyway, not ownership, but the possessive. That's what I got it. Possessive is, there's so many organizations that are so possessive of their corner of XYZ, whatever their nonprofit area is. And funding is always an issue. Money is always, there's only so much money. And, a lot of times that's a lot of the fighting is infighting between nonprofits and organizations is mine. I have to, and it's true. You already said it, is the more money you have, the more impact you can make. But I love, and I'm going to keep beating this, I love the fact that you guys are working with other organizations instead of against them. That is something that when we were on the phone the other day and you mentioned that, I was like, done and done. I love it.
Yeah, and that actually helps in the funding in a way, because when you're able to not have to do everything, you can raise money for your specialty, and then somebody else can raise money for theirs. And so there is a finite amount of money in our community. But instead of trying to do everything, if we just do what we do really well and then know those other organizations, we can make a bigger impact.
I agree. So so for other nonprofits out there that are running up against this stigma, this issue, whatever it is, what suggestion or what piece of advice do you have for
them?
I would say talk to the people that you serve, find out what they need, and then do just a little bit of research. It's easy to find information when you're really looking for it. I mean, that's how we know what our homeowners need. It's because like what Mike said, when we walk out the front door, they're still saying, "Oh, well, I don't have access to a food service, or I need someone to bring me groceries, or I might need someone to do my shopping for me." So if you're listening and you're asking questions of the people that you serve, you're going to find out what they need, and then you're going to know where to go from there.
Yeah, and to keep it on the issue, it's not about our organization; it's about the need of the community. Mm-hmm. And if nonprofits can get past look at me instead of look at the issue, you realize that we can't fix everything. But I truly believe, and maybe it's Pollyanna of me, but I believe that if all of our nonprofits gathered together, we could change the entire world. And we're going to do our little corner, and we ask everybody else to do it too. So just kind of get past yourself and say, how can we help? How can you help? How can we all change that neighborhood or that life?
Amen to that. So Tara has another question. What demographic do you serve most in OKC?
That'd be the 55 and older. A majority of who we serve is 55 and older. We serve some community centers and sometimes younger families if they're in a specific neighborhood that we're working in. But typically our year-round projects are 55 and older. And veterans. We work with a lot of veterans right now.
There you go.
Veterans and widows or widowers of veterans as well. So we've been doing a lot of programs with them.
And veterans, we don't have an age. There's not an age restriction for veterans. So that's something also for all of the viewers to know out there, that we do that as well.
And that's a fast-growing need. There's more need in the veteran community.
There's so much need. There's so many things that. So how do you decide? I mean, how many families or how many individuals do you help a year, and how do you wade through that pool of need? Because you only have so much money, you only have so much resources. I mean, this is reality. This is the reality of nonprofit. Is that if we could, we'd help everyone.
Right.
But so I mean, I'm not asking for your formulas and stuff, but I mean, how many do you serve a year? And how do you generally wade through that?
How many we served last year? 140?
Last year on record, I think we were between 140 and 150 homeowners. And this year is stacking up to be about the same, maybe a few less. And we can get into that in a minute, so you might mark that down to talk about. And we do get calls every day. Our phones ring constantly, and the ringers are off on them right now, so that's why you don't hear them ringing. But I did get the stats from the other day. We receive over 500 incoming calls every month. So it's a lot, and I don't know the formulas specifically on how they're chosen. So
it's really it's not it's hard to say, because once they fall into the category and they meet all the criteria, because there's a lot of requirements, both in income and home ownership and all those sorts of things, which is way too complicated for this. But you can find it on our web. Once they're in the system, they are in the system for 12 months. So we may work with them for a month and then come back 3 months later, and it's based on funding and what we have work, what we can do. And we never can do it all. We do the vital things that make a difference, and we get them done. And then we try to help find other agencies that can jump in too.
Your dog is making sure that he. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's when I talk. She's quiet the other time. So anyway, but yeah, so we try to work on it, and once they get in the system, we work with them for 12 months. So, and they can reapply after they roll off too.
So they could stay in the churn. They could stay in it, and then as opportunity comes up, you can touch back with them.
Yeah, there's a waiting period, but we've had people we've worked with on and off over the years.
So your construction workers, your plumbers, your whomever, electricians, everyone, are they volunteers? Are they paid? How does that work? I mean, because I'm sure that you have a level of workmanship and criteria you have on that side as well, correct?
I'll address the volunteer side first, but we have a extensive list of volunteers. We're very, very blessed in the amount of volunteers that serve with our organization. So, I mean, we have over 1,000 volunteers that are on call at any point in time. So, I mean, that is a huge statement for an organization like ours that is small in force, that we have that many people standing behind us. So, yes, some of our volunteers do work on the homes. However, on the regular, we have contractors. So.
Yeah, some of the work we do requires licensed contractors. Roofing, for instance, they have to be licensed. They have to be professionals. They have to know what they're doing. And so some of those jobs are hard for volunteers. But we've seen volunteers rebuild bathrooms and put all new flooring in and repaint and everything. So a lot of different things. Yeah, just depends on the project.
Oh, of course. Oh, absolutely. And I love that you're upholding, I'm guessing, state requirements of what needs licensed and what doesn't need licensed. And that of course helps the homeowner's insurance and everything with that. So you've taken all that in consideration.
Yeah, our organization is actually a licensed contractor. So we do it very professional. The work is done, even with volunteers, is we oversee it and make sure it's done well.
So it's not just a group of us that got together to go down and help Mary Bell, redo her front landing. It's legit work that is licensed. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's still volunteers who show up, but we teach them well. We make sure they do it right.
Training.
Well, there's that oversight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a DIY guy myself. I do almost all the work on my own house, but to do that for a group of people who either don't know what they're looking for is to quality control in their own home, they don't have the wherewithal, blah, 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 blah. They're just so thankful. I've heard horror stories over the years where, organizations, groups, friends got together, they tried to help, made things worse.
Yeah. Well, I believe that anyone can do anything once they learn how. I mean, when it comes to home repairs, once you understand how to do it and get the right tools and have somebody to help you, I think I've seen amazing things done with volunteers.
And we train people. I mean, the workshops that we do, the RIY, we call it Rebuild It Yourself, RIY. And so we have some of those opportunities too for people to come in and learn how to do certain things within their own home or for other people.
Yeah.
I may have a resource. Okay, now let me back up a second. Do you guys also do anything outside of the home, or is it just in the home?
Yeah. What do you mean, like in the yard?
Yeah, like yard work, landing, railing outside. Do you have? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, inside and out. We work inside and out of the homes.
The entire property.
For your volunteers, okay, off. So when we're finished here, remind me. I might have a resource that might help you with your volunteers for certification for heavy equipment operation, possibly. So don't let me forget about that. So anyway, squirrel moment.
Well, the other thing too is I think it's important for people to volunteer. I think too many people sit back and go, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, you can learn and we can teach you. And I mean, trust me, when I first got here, they wouldn't even give me a paintbrush, but you kind of get those times where you learn and you learn things about how to do that. But most importantly, I feel like a volunteer's heart is the most powerful tool on the planet. It can change the world. It can do amazing things.
Amen. And it's funny. I'm going to get on a soapbox. So I'm warning everyone right now. No, so I kind of see, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I grew up in a very volunteer-oriented time and location. Like I said before, I'm a 4-H'er. I bleed green. That's where I got my start. I started as a volunteer when I was 9 years old, and I'm still in 4-H. That's how I met my wife. Yada yada yada. Right. I see volunteerism nationwide. Now there's pockets, but I kind of see volunteerism falling off. I see volunteerism as a generational gap, and I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. This is one thing I hope I'm wrong on, but I've lived all over the country, and I've lived around the world now as an Army wife, and it's interesting. Now, being that you guys need volunteers, you say you have a ginormous list of volunteers. How hard is it when you pick up that phone? Having a list is one thing. Having active volunteers can be a different thing. I mean, how easy is it for you guys to pick up the phone and just get people showing up?
I truly feel that we do a good job of equipping our volunteers well enough that when we need something, that they do act. We have a team of people that go out and build ramps every week, once a week. And at any point in time, we could call them and they could help us with a project. We have teams of people that do things for us on the regular. We have people that come in for special projects. So, and I don't want to disagree with you, but I do disagree with you in that volunteerism is falling off, because I mean, I don't see that, or at least not here.
Oklahoma has a really strong volunteer spirit.
Especially Oklahoma City. I mean, we're heavy in nonprofits and we're heavy in volunteer work. And we've, I feel like we've really worked hard and priding ourselves on, look at all of the things that our nonprofits are doing here in our local community, at least. So, I don't know. And again, I'm big in the volunteer force, so maybe I have a skewed perception. So, because I spend a lot of hours and time and energy and heart into volunteering as well, outside of this position. So,
yeah, I think that it's all about how you appreciate, how you train and equip your volunteers, how you appreciate them. We call it the Rebuilding Together family. And once someone's in our family, we make sure they stay in our family. So I would challenge nonprofits who struggle with that to look at how they're appreciating their people.
Appreciation.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you do something for somebody, even if it's a great cause and it's near and dear to your heart, if you're not properly appreciated, the likelihood that you're going to come back it goes down. So that's something that we work hard at, and we feel that we do a good job at, and we're always working to improve.
Yeah,
I love it. And I'm okay with being wrong. I'll be wrong all day long. It doesn't bother me at all. So disagree with me. Hold your own. Tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. No, and here's the thing. I am 100% on board with you on that, is that I've been around a lot of different nonprofits over the years, and there's been a lot of nonprofits that could give two shits about their volunteers. They just look at them as a disposable workforce, and they bitch and they groan about not having enough people. Well, let's just be honest. When we have a great volunteer force, okay, I'll put myself as the volunteer force. When I'm volunteering for something I absolutely adore and I love, I'm going to overdo it. I'm going to over volunteer. I'm going to spend way too much time, and I'm going to burn out. And that's when it falls on the organization, like what you guys are talking about. That's when it falls on the organization to manage that well and to take care of your people, because any nonprofit, the volunteers is the lifeblood. It's imperative. And when you start burning out your volunteers, you're SOL after a certain point. So I love what you guys are doing.
Well, and getting a volunteer for me as a nonprofit leader is not about the job that we're trying to get done. It's about bringing someone into the mission and letting them see firsthand that, I talked about that earlier in this is that one of the biggest struggles is expressing the need in the community. There is no better way than teaching the need than getting somebody on site. And so for me, once they plug into that need and see it, they're good to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Their eyes are opened, and then they're ready. Ready and willing to do what it takes. Because once you see what we do, it's hard to turn your back on it. Yeah.
I'm with you on that. And your puppy agrees as well. Yeah. Your puppy's right there with you.
Awesome. We created a dog-friendly world here, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's annoying.
Well, before we kick off, we need to see the puppy, just so that we know that there's a puppy there and it's not just a noisemaker in the background.
It's time for your close-up. Come here. Oh, there she is.
Oh.
Calm down. She's a baby.
And when we say puppy, we mean puppy.
Yeah, she's a puppy. You see it? Look, you're on screen.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, no. She hasn't learned the value of video yet.
Work on that, will you? All right, guys. Can you believe we're at our half an hour already?
No, it's flown by.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, Tara, I just put this up a moment ago. She says she has to agree with Laurie and Mike. Oklahoma volunteers rock.
Yeah.
We do.
Done and done. So I always try to ask, last piece of advice. You guys have given some great advice. If I'm a volunteer or if I'm a community member who I have some extra time and I want to make an impact, how do I choose? Who do I work with? How do I know a legitimate nonprofit versus, let's just be honest, there's some not so legitimate nonprofits out there that, what's your guys' advice for me?
Wow.
You might look back, I'm speaking totally off the cuff. I don't know. You would look at historical value of the community. So we've been in Oklahoma City for 25 years. So that means we have some staying power where we've been here forever. Or not forever, but we've been here a long time. We intend to stay here for a long time. Although there is credit with a lot of these new nonprofits that have started and bloomed here in Oklahoma City. So, maybe that's not the right way to choose, but I would look at what you really want to be involved with, talk with other people who that might be involved with that same organization or that same train of thought, or and you can always check out this. Every state has a Center for Nonprofits, so you can always check that out too. And they might be listed on there. So I know we are on ours.
Yeah, I second that. Look at what your passion is. Look at what your talent is. We work with nonprofits that create videos. We work with kids nonprofits. They're all out there. Just figure out what your passion is and then go do it. Get out and I have my kids volunteer. I have, my wife and I both volunteer at other organizations as well. So just make a difference.
Awesome. So what's next for you guys? Of course, fundraising is always a thing, but what's next for Rebuilding Together?
Well, something
Don't let anything out of the bag. No. I don't want to get in trouble.
Here's what we know is our national organization is growing. We are taking our cues from our leaders there. And we want to grow here in Oklahoma City to be not just another good nonprofit, but a community leading nonprofit. And we are putting things into place to do that.
I love it.
We're talking more about our organization, really getting out there, making an impact. And so, I mean, I want everybody to know what we do so that if anyone they discover has a need, they know where to turn to.
Be top of mind. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, it's incredible how quick time flies when you're talking about amazing things that we love and we're passionate about. And I love you guys' passion. I love what you guys are doing because, you know, my real quick story. So my mother-in-law, so my father-in-law passed away suddenly. No, I mean, it was a massive heart attack. We didn't have a clue. Just got a phone call one morning. It was done. And come to find out in that process, they were renting their house. Come to find out the landlord was selling the house that summer. We didn't know. And so we had a choice. And so we kind of took it upon, you know, the family kind of took upon the responsibility to take care of my mother-in-law and get her into another house and got her all taken care of. But at the same time, when my father-in-law passed away, we don't live, I mean, they're in Idaho. That's where we're originally from, is Idaho. We're not there. There's not a lot of other family there at that time that could take care of the house stuff for her. And I'll tell you what, I had those thoughts go through my mind is, the heck, how am I going to do this? You know, I can't fly back there all the time to take care of XYZ, you know? So knowing that there's organizations like yourself that, you know, it may not get done immediately, but at least there's the opportunity to get on the list and get in that priority list. And I absolutely love it. And I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate your love for your community. Thank you.
Thank you. We had fun.
Yeah.
Good. Well, at least I didn't make this completely painful.
No, it was great.
So, all right, guys, hang out with me for just a minute. I'm going to kick you guys off for just a second. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a wrap up after all this. And yeah, so guys, say your goodbyes. Tell us. Oh, also real quick, do you mind putting your contact information in the comments when we're all finished?
We don't mind at all. We will absolutely do that for you.
Please do. Please do. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. You know what? I've been doing this for a little while now, and I've had some incredible people, and it's incredible to me. I know Laurie's husband. Let's full disclosure here for a second. I know Laurie's husband, John. He's been on the show already, John Mayhue. He's the big fuzzy beard dude that I love giving so much crap to. I love that dude to death. And a couple weeks ago, he's like, dude, you need to get Laurie on, and they need to talk about their program. And this is what this is all about. You know, I say that this is influencers of me. I don't even know these guys, and they're influencing me because talking to them and seeing their passion and seeing their drive and their desire to make an impact in their community is what it's about. It needs to be infectious, and that is infectious. You know, we infect others with our enthusiasm, and I'm super stoked for the growth that they have, what they're doing for their community. And the other thing that I really love is the fact that they're not being possessive of their corner of what's going on. They're working with other nonprofits. They're trying to create a community. Not trying, they are. And that's incredible to me. So guys, they're going to put their contact info below. Please share this out. This is for them. This isn't for me. This is for them. So share this out. Just get the information out there. If you're in Oklahoma, make sure you get this information. If you're not in Oklahoma, I don't care. Share this out so people know that these organizations do exist. Guys, rock out your day. Keep smiling because somebody's going to need it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.